People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom. Everybody crying out, crying, crying, crying,
crying. Hi. I see people from Saparia. I see Orpuch East in the house, Orpuch West, Faizabad, Grandi, and my beautiful people from Barataria, San Juan. Welcome to the Monday Night Forum of the United National Congress. And it is good to be back outside. We have been sharing our ideas, our platform through the virtual platform. Thank you very much. Welcome to our political leader, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bissessa of Senior Council, and the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I would like to join and share some issues with you with respect to the office of the Attorney General. This PNM Rowley government has only brought shame, disgrace, and embarrassment to that office. From attorneys general like Carl Terrence Hudson Phillips, Russell Martineau Senior Counsel, Ramesh Lawrence Murad Senior Counsel, Anand Ramlogan Senior Counsel, and Kamala Prasad Bissessa Senior Counsel, Rowley has given us Faris Al-Rawi and Reginald Armour as attorneys general. That office was held with such high esteem and respect. It was meant to be the protector of our Constitution and the public's interests. Today, that office has now been denigrated and abused by them to persecute individuals at the expense of your money, at the taxpayers' money. You know, when you file a case against the government, you file a case against the state, you would expect a challenge because they are in your interest, the public's interest. Today, we are learning that they are not even going to file defenses in court or even to show up for the sit-ins and the hearings. You know, last Friday, I asked the Prime Minister, why don't you tell us who the top performers are in SCA? Everybody would like to know who the top performers are. Get them a little prize, a little award. He said, no, we can't do that. But tonight, I want to pay special acknowledgement to the top performer in losing cases, Faris Al-Rawi. I tell you, Faris Al-Rawi spent more time in law school than in the courthouse, you know. And when you thought things can get worse than Faris, will he bring a fella called Limo Armour? Armour is his name. Limo, I had it correct the first time. And you know, Debe, you almost invite Mr. Armour down here and give him a little bush bath, because it seems as though that office blight. It blight. In his short term, the man didn't even serve 1 year as yet as the Attorney General. And these are some of the editorials we are hearing, some of the headlines. Here it is. The Guardian, answers needed from the AG. AG Armour, a year of drama, bold and beautiful. Armour's massive mess, a scrappy metal bill, misstep after misstep. Old mass at the AG's office, an expanding fiasco, and massive models. This is the man who is your Attorney General. It seems as though it have a magician in that AG's office, because a file worth $20 million gone missing. It gone missing. Rat-eat it. Now, Armour has lost the appeal in Miami last week. He has lost the file in this case. So now Armour must lose his job. He must lose his job. And you know, when you're going to war, you just put on armor, silver armor. Well, the PNM armor is a piece of scrap iron. And you might wonder why they don't want to, implement the scrap iron bill, because Armour free to pick him up and ship him away. And they have launched an investigation into this entire missing file. But they will find nothing, but what they will do, they will spend your money. They are basically investigating themselves. Armour has appointed two fellas, Nelson and I think Stanley John, to investigate his own office. And they will find nothing. They will only spend your money. But this is not a new issue. If you will remember last year, the honorable political leader raised another matter with respect to the state failing to defend matters. In my hand here I have a judgment delivered on the 18th of March 2022 by Justice Robin Mohammed. And it is a matter where Mr. Ashton Ford former General Secretary of the PNM, Andrea Chambers Wilson, and Elvin Edwards, he was a former PNM mayor for Arima, sued the Attorney General because they believed that they were unfairly dismissed. When we were in government, we ensured that we file a defense in this matter. We ensured that we file a defense in this matter under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. But during the court, you have to now file evidence. When there was time to file evidence in this matter, Faris Al-Rawi was the Attorney General. Do you know what happened? The state didn't file a single witness statement matter, not a single witness statement. And then, when the matter came up for trial, for the hearing, judge put on his nice robe, the lawyer put on a nice robe. The Attorney General did not show up. They did not show up. And do you know what was the result of that? Mr. Ashton Ford and Elvin Edwards walked away from that courthouse with $2.65 million. You listening to that? They walked out of that courthouse with $2.65 million. Why? Because the state failed to defend that matter. We must ask ourselves why. Why it was this PNM General Secretary and a former mayor appointed by the PNM were able to walk out the courthouse with that kind of money. But it doesn't end there. Do you know who was the lawyer representing those two fellas? You all know a fella called Michael Kwamina? Michael Kwamina was the man representing those two fellas. Personal lawyer of the Prime Minister. And then, let us move on. Let us go international now. We have now seen last week that the court has ruled that, you remember there was a matter we were raising with respect to the Miami scandal when Reginald Armour was representing Brian Kwaitong in the Piaco matters in 2003, 2004 at that time. And then he decided when he became Attorney General to now act for the government. So first he was acting for the defendant and now he's trying to act for the government as Attorney General. And when that matter came up before the Miami court, what happened? A Miami court threw Armour outside of the courtroom. They pelt him out. And the reason why they pelt him out is because they found out he was conflicted. You cannot act for a defendant and then decide to act for the prosecution to prosecute the man. It is totally wrong. It goes against our constitution, any constitution and any civilized democracy. It may even go against the Magna Carta. That is to tell you. But that happened in Trinidad and Tobago. An Attorney General caused us international embarrassment. And when that matter hit the news, you remember what happened? Armour put out a release. You can have the release in my hand here. 3 pages of a release. What did he say? He said, I am going to appeal this matter because the judge was patently wrong. He didn't appeal the matter because he lied, you know. His position was, I lie, so that is okay, but the judge was wrong. That's basically what Armour telling you, you know, as the taxpayers. He had business that he lied, he business that the judge wrong. Well, Mr. Armour, last week, I want you to answer this. Why it is the Court of Appeal upheld the other side's argument and found that the judge was right and you have to continue to be disqualified from that matter. You have to be disqualified. And tonight I would like to call the Law Association because when this matter had hit the news, the Law Association put out a release. They say we are investigating. Well, you have nothing to investigate again. The Attorney General was disqualified. Open your mouth, Law Association. Let us hear what is your views on this matter now that Armour has been disqualified by an appeal court. Matter done. Matter done. But when Kamla Persad-Bissessar talk about Armour friends, I'll vex with she. Tonight I want to hear what you have to say about Reginald Armour being disqualified by the appeal court in Miami. Let us hear. And you know, I want to know how much money that this thing cost us. This man went to court and lied on affidavit. He then went and appealed the matter because he lied and we lost. So, you know, in budget, we normally get to ask the government some questions because they have to account. We appropriate monies to the Office of the Attorney General and we don't appropriate $1, we don't appropriate 1 cent. We appropriate millions and millions and millions of dollars. So, I fast. I like to be fast. So I want to know how much money we spend in this matter. So during the Standing Finance Committee, I asked the Attorney General, I said the taxpayers ought to know how much was spent on this Miami matter so far? Well, Amor, he was very unprepared on that day. So he said he will put the answers in writing. Well, I have a letter here from the office of the Attorney General. And in this, he responded and he said how much money they spent. Trinidad and Tobago, I would like you to know that matter in Miami, the taxpayers have spent $29.3 million. You want me to repeat that? Because it seems that you're all in shock, you know. $29.3 million they have spent in that Miami matter so far. And we don't know how much additional they spent because of the appeal that they recently lost in the Miami court. $29.3 million of your taxpayers' money. So when you go to the hospital and you can't get a bed, when you're driving through all them bad road, know that they spent almost $30 million in this Miami matter. $30 million and more will be continued to be spent in this matter. And that is the modus operandi of this government. That is what they have done. But tonight I also want to inform you, because this is our duty as members of parliament and the opposition, to keep you informed of what is happening. Tonight, I want to let you all know, on Friday we had something called Prime Minister's Question Time. And Dr. Munilal, he asked a particular question to the Prime Minister, and he asked the Prime Minister, Prime Minister, is any other member of your cabinet involved in that Piaco matter during the preliminary inquiry? The Prime Minister did not provide an answer. He did not provide a proper answer. Tonight I want to ask Mr. Stuart Young if he was a member of a legal team representing one Edward Bailey, who was the former chairman of NIBDEC in that preliminary inquiry. I want to ask Stuart Young that. Stuart Young, did you appear in court on May 2004 when that matter came up for hearing? I want to also ask, because this is very important, ladies and gentlemen, where I have received information with respect to a particular witness in that Miami matter who has received state briefs in the amount of $2 million for the period 2017 to 2021. And I want to ask if that same witness who is being paid to testify was appointed to a state board. I also want to ask if that same witness is now a senior member who sits in a ministry. Tonight I want to ask Stuart Young, did you ever speak to that witness? Stuart Young, did you ever speak to that person? I want to ask that tonight. But do you think you all want to know who that witness is? Not tonight, we'll do it another night. But you will remember that what they have done is that they have continued to pay people to testify in court. Do you remember this front page? When QC Nelson was paid $10.2 million to testify against Anand Ramlogan and Gerald Ramdeen. You all remember this? And what happened to this matter? The entire prosecution collapsed because they are not interested in the taxpayers, you know. They are interested in themselves. They are interested in the PNM. We on the UNC, we are interested in the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because we want to get you out of this cycle of the PNM. We must get rid of the PNM from Trinidad and Tobago because they have been known to be the most corrupt government. This Rowley-led government is the worst incarnation of any government to ever pass through our country since independence. But Trinidad and Tobago, let us get our house in order. Let us unite. Let us come under the umbrella of the United National Congress. Our political leader has signaled the unity call. The bells are being rung. The winds of change are blowing across Trinidad and Tobago to get rid of this most wicked PNM government, this waste of time government. Trinidad and Tobago, we could make it if we try, but we must get rid of the PNM first. I thank you very much. I thank you.
The voice of the people is